I know for a fact that I don't know, like, any of these.
To a
Yeah.
dozen. And then I went home and I checked these tubs because there were a bunch of tubs just sitting in my little brother's room.
Uh-huh.
And they were filled with old sweatshirts that
That's iconic.
still fit me because I'd lost like, I think 25-ish pounds over the summer.
Yeah, you've thinned up a lot.
Yeah.
And you didn't even have much to lose there.
Yeah, no, I stopped eating. It was kind of a slay.
A slight? No,
Yeah.
that's an eating disorder.
No, oh no, yeah, completely. It was like throwing up and all of that jazz. It was so Blair Waldorf of me.
Carson.
I mean, it was effective though. To be fair, I was worse than this too. I've started hopping on the exact opposite because part of I
Like
think,
binging?
yeah, I think it's fair to categorize it as bulimia, and part of it is that there is significant fluctuation where it's very much like all or nothing.
Uh-huh. Okay. But you take Vyvanse, right?
I do, but I was doing it way before Vyvanse.
Ah.
Like
Oh,
it's actually gotten
okay.
better with Vyvanse because
Yeah.
Vyvanse, it's hard to binge eat.
Yes, actually, so an alternative use for Vyvanse is to treat binge eating disorder
Well, I mean,
because it suppresses your hunger.
but does it count as treating it if you just stop eating?
I mean,
Because I feel like that's just an
it
entirely
suppresses your
separate
hunger,
issue.
but it's not necessarily stopping you from eating, just suppressing hunger. If that makes sense.
But if you eat when you're hungry,
Some people eat when they're bored.
oh yeah, I definitely did that.
Yeah.
But now it's like a combination of both, and that's a special type of binge eating. That's like
Uh-huh.
that's feral. It's genuinely
Uh-huh.
feral. The vents in this room are pissing me off so bad. I don't know why they're so crazy right now. That's
It's just matching the vibe.
it is kind of.
Yeah.
Honestly.
A little
So,
chaotic, a little
speaking
moment.
of chaotic, how are your cramps?
Um
I know almost jack shit about cramps, but from the knowledge that I do have from having like a mother and
uh-huh.
3 sisters and a lot of lady friends growing up,
Mhm.
it seems like they're not really that bad and women are just overreacting.
So that's definitely not always the case.
No, I'm kidding. I know they get really
Yeah.
horrible. What level of horrible is it right now?
Right now it's fine, but like first thing this morning, like when I initially texted you, "Hey, running late,"
Yeah.
it was bad. Probably not the worst I've experienced. Like the worst I've experienced was almost throwing up, crying in my bedroom back at my parents' house, like fixing to just wanting to go to sleep or do something to make them stop. Nothing was helping. Ibuprofen wasn't helping. Midol wasn't helping.
Okay, now that I hear that, I might have a period.
Ethan told me last night that he's like, I think I have sympathy periods. I'm feeling so emotional this week.
Mine aren't sympathy periods. Mine are angst periods.
Baby, that's anxiety.
No.
What do you mean by angst?
No, I mean like, well, I feel like you don't have to throw up when you're anxious. Well, you can, can't you?
Yes. Like stage fright. Some people actually throw up because they're so nervous.
Okay, I never throw up because I'm nervous though. I throw up because I throw up almost in spite.
Spiteful vomit?
Yeah. It's just like, fuck you, world.
It's kind of iconic.
I really hope I lined that up properly because I can't tell. I don't know. Future Carson may love me or may hate me, and I can't tell yet.
I think you need to include the in like a blooper take or something.
I'll probably just include it in the pod. I really
Do
don't
it.
edit that much out because every episode, my shortest episode that I've
Uh-huh.
recorded so far, 2 hours and 45 minutes of raw footage.
Got you.
So it is like extensive, and I'm
Mhm.
editing pretty extensively. Like I edit out
Uh-huh.
likes and ums so I don't sound like a complete and utter dipshit all the time. Because
Mhm.
I've developed a lot of Kim Kardashian-esque fillers
Yeah.
a lot.
Uh-huh.
And it pisses me off to listen back to it because I don't know when it happened.
Uh-huh. It's
And
just like
I don't
instinctive.
I think it's because I watched The Bachelor in my later stages of high school. I feel like it was
You
inevitable.
think it's a formative
It was
like
very much
experience
like,
for you.
yeah, it was like a dumb bitch mitosis, kind of. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by dumb bitch mitosis?
Like I feel like I absorbed the dumb bitch cells through my television screen. Kind of like, you know
that's
how
not mitosis.
you know okay, you know how plants like absorb, maybe photosynthesis is a better word. You know how plants like absorb sunlight?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I am, but like with the desperate people that end up on those television shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're like desperate by proxy.
Yeah. And it's a special sort of desperation because it's not a sort of desperation that intelligent people will ever face.
Yeah.
Because intelligent people will just suffer silently in their bedrooms. They're not going to like go and try to date the same man or same woman as 30 other people. That's an idiot type of way of working through your ish.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love it like a lot.
Okay,
Like
but
a lot. I miss the old seasons though. I miss Colton's season quite a bit.
yeah. What
That
was
my
like
starter
life
season.
what like a change in his development?
There was no change. And looking back, I didn't know it then because honestly, I just didn't know that many gay people. He was like clearly gay.
Gotcha.
He was in the NFL for like what, 4 years? Virgin? And he wasn't waiting for marriage? Are you fucking kidding?
You know, maybe he was just waiting for the right person.
How hot? Okay, you're like a 6'4",
Mm-hmm.
like blonde, rich, jacked dude. How hard can you be looking for the right person?
Okay. Okay, but think, you are rich. There are a lot of gold diggers out there.
And you're gonna find one that isn't on The Bachelor?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch The Bachelor. I've just seen like the clips.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. You know the premise. It's obvious
I know
what
the
they're
premise.
there for.
Yeah.
And I like the obvious gold diggers the most of the people on that show.
Hey, we're transitioning.
I have kind of like a, what do you call it? I've kind of like an either or situation, like a this or that. What's the name for that? The like, would you rather? Okay, you get a private concert of one of these two artists sent to your house.
Okay.
Like private performance in your basement just for you.
Okay.
Who would you rather? Mason Ramsey or Phoebe Bridgers? Mason Ramsey, for context,
The
yodeling kid from Walmart.
Yeah.
Phybe Bridgers,
Gay icon.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or just a lot of women like her too.
I like Phoebe Bridgers.
Which, I mean, a lot of women are gay, so women are significantly gayer just as a people. So it makes sense. Honestly.
Gayer or just affectionate in general?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think the two are. I don't think they're fully exclusive, if I'm being honest.
I mean, that kind of goes into like the femininity, masculinity thing. Obviously, like women focus more on communication and like have realized the value of community. And so I think, doing things to like unite the front is important.
So Phoebe Bridgers for
Phoebe
the girl
Bridgers,
boss aspect.
Yeah. Like Phoebe Bridgers, Doja Cat, Lizzo.
I gotta be honest. I would have to embrace my masculinity, and no, it's not embracing masculinity. I want to hear that dumbass twang song. I love all of his songs.
He's
She love
adorable.
me for my twang. It's so sick, and that was so out of tune, and I don't care. I haven't heard it in so long. I need to make a playlist that's exclusively him.
Yeah. You're not like the other girls. You listen to Mason Ramsey.
He's becoming like a genuine niche icon though.
Yeah.
He has very devoted followers. I've heard him at parties, and I've heard him at like little kickbacks.
Yeah.
Fairly consistently. And I think it started as ironic. I don't think it's ironic anymore.
The evolution of Mason Ramsey.
He's becoming genuinely good too.
I think people like him almost for the nostalgia. Like when he was a meme, that was like that was pre-COVID. Like a different time in life.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
March 2018.
I feel ancient.
2018.
I feel ancient.
That is almost half a decade ago. That's half a decade ago in less than half a year.
No, 2018 was like 2 years ago. I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like 2018 wasn't even that good too. I shouldn't be that nostalgic.
Like
that
it was like a mid-year, but it wasn't 2020.
2019 was good. 2020, honestly, not great.
Person we met in 2019.
Yeah, I know. 2020 was the shitty one. 2019 was pretty baller.
It was. I gave my TED Talk that year.
The entire year. I mean, granted, latter half of 2019, I mean, shoot me. Like, actually just shoot me.
No, same.
With a crossbow in both legs. Just let me die painfully.
Same.
It'd still be worth it.
My first boyfriend dumped me in 2019. Over Snapchat. Like a real man. Right.
Not even a text
Not
message?
even a text.
My God. I mean, honestly, it's shitty enough to do it over call. I got sent to the no contact zone through text message recently, though.
Interesting.
So, I mean, granted, we were long distance, so I'll be honest, I really don't hold it against her, because if I were going to do it, if I were going to be, you know, a jackass who blocks people, then I would probably do it over text message too. But, you know, I'm not.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not mad about it at all. Totally over it.
Stuff
it's like
happens.
fine. Yeah, it's like fine.
Yeah.
I don't even care. Don't even care at all. Don't even care at all that all of my relationships last for like 2 months max. That is actually why we are gathered here today, though.
Yeah.
We are gathered here today because of a little stereotype that you fulfill within the dating world. And I'm not saying that to be a douche, because we're both kind of stereotypical.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I'm your typical avoidant attachment style, rarely ever dating. When I do, it lasts for like 3 months max type of dude. While you are essentially the antithesis of me. You have very little trouble dating long term.
No.
And you've had multiple long-term relationships. And in fact are in a very long-term one right now. So we're going to go through some of these long-term relationships, how you've navigated them, how you've grown, the bullshit that transpired over the course of the relationship lifespan.
Yeah, definitely.
So on and so forth. And we are going to begin with Mr. Dumped Over Snapchat, Mr. High School Sweetheart. I don't know if it counts as high school sweetheart if like you end up hating them before high school goes out, but
I mean, I think it counts.
I think it would count.
I think it's fine.
From what I understand, I'm not sure if he's your first relationship. He might be. I know he is your longest to date. Was he also your first? And how did y'all meet? Like, what's all the background?
Okay, so if I don't like to count middle school relationships because I think they're dumb.
You can count them. I think they're so funny.
Okay. If that's the case, he's my Mr. Dumped Over Snapchat is second boyfriend. First boyfriend ever, first kiss was this guy who like I dated for like a month between 7th and 8th grade year.
See, that I can get behind. That that is my niche.
I think it's just a compulsive liar, like looking back. And he dumped me over Facebook Messenger, which is extra cringe.
I like him already. Compulsive liar who dumped you over Facebook Messenger.
Oh, yeah. And I was so angsty and different in middle school. He like proposed to me with a ring pop, which was so stupid. Like so cringy. I sat with a lighter and melted it.
Oh my God.
With my best friend. Honestly, like girl power, straight up girl power.
That's so punk.
Yeah.
That's very
no. I wore like the dark eyeliner.
That's so Jenny Humphrey of you. Look at you go.
I definitely religiously listened to MCR, Panic, Fall Out Boy.
I did have a My Chemical Romance phase, and I'm not embarrassed of it anymore. I'm not. I don't like them nearly as much as I used to, and I don't listen to full albums at all because honestly, most of their songs, they're cornball writers.
Yeah.
They are cornball writers, but some of them, like the notable bangers, the ones that are genuinely famous. I feel like they're one of the rare instances of a band whose best songs are the most famous ones. You
Okay,
know what I mean?
like Black Parade.
Black Parade, one of their top 5 of theirs.
Oh, yeah.
Easily their most
Like,
famous song.
Probably, I think the most recognizable intro. Like the
Yeah.
do,
Well,
do, do, do.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty close. I don't know. Teenagers is pretty iconic
I love Teenagers.
too.
I think my favorite MCR song is Ghost of You.
Oh my god, I love that one. No, I actually
The
love that
music
one a
video
lot.
makes me cry.
I've never seen the music video. I
It's so good.
always pull from Spotify. I like that one and I Don't Love You.
Yes.
Because those are, oh my gosh, when he has his little growly thing, like, when you go. Oh my god, dude, that.
Wait, how'd that go?
How'd
that go?
You heard me. When you go.
The cringiest ASMR.
I liked it so much. When I
Mhm.
had 15-year-old me fucked the fuck up.
Yes.
It was, oh my god. I do appreciate the raw emotion, even if it is kind of corny now.
Mhm.
That's kind of how I feel about 21 Pilots now, to be honest. I was a huge
Yeah.
21 Pilots fan, and
Me too.
I can barely listen to a lot of their stuff now, but
Yeah.
like
I like their old stuff. Like Car Radio, you better believe.
Vessel's their best. Well, no, Blurry Face is their best one.
Blurry Face is good.
Vessel is their second best one.
Mhm.
I don't really. They're 2017. What the fuck was that one called? That one was okay. I can't remember that album.
It's Yellow.
I know it's Trench.
Yeah. It's
Like,
it's okay.
Honestly, 6 out of 10. I still have some of the songs that I listen to from time to time.
Yeah.
Every now and again.
Yeah.
But
I think they have such a devoted like fan base though. Like, first of all, they're just unproblematic, which is like
Yeah.
respectable.
mostly, I mean, they kind of just like
It appeals to the
don't talk
homeschool
about
kids.
Yeah.
Homeschool kid vibe.
Yeah. And they
Also, Imagine Dragons. Homeschool
Mhm.
kid vibe for me.
everybody who liked 21 Pilots had a little Imagine Dragons phase, at least a little. My best friend unironically like really likes Imagine Dragons, and also kind of
Like
likes
to this day.
and kind of likes JR to this day.
Are they okay?
I don't know.
Is that a cry
don't
for
know.
help?
Logan, go to therapy.
Red Heart.
It may be, honestly. I don't know. It's such a weird vibe because like he's in the National Guard too, and I can't imagine AJR and the National Guard mixing. Hey, we're transitioning.
But yeah, middle school boyfriend sucked. I think like he just did not do well in high school either, based off what I've seen via the social medias.
Yeah, to be fair, I was really shitty middle school boyfriend as well. I was pretty.
Was anyone a good middle school boyfriend?
No.
Like,
No, boys shouldn't be allowed to date before 18 because I've never seen an
I
instance of it
agree.
going well. Never once.
maybe even 20,
we should,
honestly.
You should be like locked inside of a coffin,
No,
vampire style.
no.
As soon as you're done with school, you should just be sitting in there with your iPad that specifically filters out like the gaming videos because
Any Twitch streams.
straight alt-right pipeline. You're going to become insufferable. You're going to be a
No Rogan.
douchebag, and then you're going to be so sad about it 3 years later when you realize that you were such a douchebag.
They should get like comprehensive like sex ed too.
I mean,
Like-
everybody should. I feel like that's just
Like learn about like, you know, women's struggles outside of just like
or just women in general.
women in
You
general.
don't really know anything about women
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Maybe like have them take the love language quiz.
Like I was surprised. I was never stupid, so I never had like this problem to this extent.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize how often a lot of guys straight up thought that women never made jokes at all and thought that everything that they said was completely serious.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they didn't understand that like joking happened like all the way around. I didn't realize they were like genuine dipshits because I was always confused about like jokes that would piss people off or that they'd take super seriously. I didn't realize they didn't know that people were joking. Like how do you get there?
Uh-huh. Like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of it deals with tone. And like expression too.
Maybe I feel like the tone of like women telling jokes isn't super different though. I don't know. Maybe it is. I mean, I feel like it's obvious, but maybe that's just because I like live with women.
I think, yeah, you have to know your audience, like
Maybe
who you're appealing to. I remember, like, I don't know if it was middle school or like early high school. Early high school is basically middle school, but like guys would,
ninth
like,
grade.
girls would like say something that was genuinely funny, and guys would be, you know, clever and be like, "You're not funny. Girls aren't funny. You're not funny." Like, just being annoying.
Like, just giggle, you jackass.
Yeah, just like, like, what, do you want to be an incel until you're like, you know, 40?
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, if you're a straight man and you genuinely want to feel the touch of a woman one day, maybe laugh at her jokes every once in a while.
It's such a better life when you get to a state where women are funny too. Like, you just understand that people are joking, because then you have the opportunity to giggle a lot more and be a dick a lot less.
Maybe women are just funny the entire time, but guys don't mature fast enough to realize that. Because let's be real, girls' maturity, like, they reach maturity way quicker than guys.
I'll be honest, I'm trying to think about it, and I think this is a good thing, but I have so little interaction with middle school girls that I don't know.
Middle school girls are genuinely my worst nightmare.
I don't want to interact with a middle school girl maybe ever again.
I hated middle school girls when I was a middle school girl.
I do have a 13-year-old sister, though, and that does pose kind of an issue for me.
How are you doing?
But, I mean, she's solid. She used to be, like, she was the youngest for a long time, and you know how youngest kids are. Are you youngest?
I'm the oldest.
Okay, so you do know. Oh my god.
Yeah, my brother is 14. My youngest sibling.
Yeah, no, she was a jerk for a while. She wasn't even. I don't even know if it counts as a jerk. She was just really annoying for a while, but that it starts to go away relatively quickly, and I'm glad that she's not a dude, because it would take until she was like 15 for it to go away if she was. Yeah. But it's already kind of evaporating, you know.
I don't think my sister ever left like the don't talk to me, don't look at me middle school phase. Like, my sister and I are 22 months apart, and so which is fairly close in age, honestly.
Yeah, that's less than 2 years.
Yeah, and we definitely don't see eye to eye all the time. I love my sister, but she's definitely been the same person since she was in middle school.
I don't know. I feel like I didn't know my sisters that well, like personality-wise, in middle school, because honestly, we weren't brought up in the type of way where I'd say we were close, but we didn't interact. Maybe not close, because we really didn't talk to each other all that much until very recently, because we were all very isolated types.
Yeah. I think, like, when you have a bunch of different personalities that don't mesh well at that point in your life, it's easy to isolate. But then, you know, you're off at college and you're away from the rest of your family, and so it's
one of my sisters is here.
I didn't know that.
One of my sisters is a college freshman. She lives here. My second episode was with her roommate's best friend.
I did not know that. I don't know why I thought your siblings were like significantly younger than you.
Not even close. All of my little sisters are teenagers.
Okay, gotcha.
I have one I'm 20. I have one who's 19, one who's almost 17. She's 16 right now, 17 by like January. And then another who's... Okay, that was, oh my gosh.
That was
such a rabbit hole.
Woo.
Okay.
It's the ADHD.
Anyways, after middle school boyfriend, how'd you meet Mr. Dump Over Snapchat?
Super cringe. So, you know, I grew up...
It's the best kind.
I wish I could slap 14-year-old me.
Oh my god.
Like...
Yeah. But actually, 14-year-old me was not bad at all. 14-year-old me was very much like... 14-year-old me progressed a lot in a lot of really positive ways.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it all went downhill because I started trying to interact with girls in a romantic way before I understood how to do that. And that messes with a lot of different aspects of your life, especially when you do it bad and you're in the wrong and you don't know that you're in the wrong.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I think I was probably in the wrong in every single relationship that I had up until I was. Honestly, I may have been slightly. I wasn't.
Okay.
Okay, my last one, I don't think I was fully in the wrong.
Uh-huh.
I do think it was like a. I think it was like a 1/3 me, like 2/3 her. Maybe even
Okay.
60-40 type of
Okay,
situation.
yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
very much. Like calling myself like blameless would be really ignorant.
Yeah. Yeah. At least you can like admit your faults.
Yeah, what good is that if there's literally like there's like itsy bitsy little iotas of improvement.
Uh-huh.
4 months is my longest.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. You're just figuring out like what you like, what you don't like. You are learning a lesson with every relationship.
Yeah, but when the lesson is consistently like, oh, I'm bad at that. Like I don't really have a
Okay.
reference for good.
Do you learn from your mistakes? Or do you like repeat
Not
behaviors?
with women. I do in every other. Okay, if the mistake is like my own mistreatment,
Uh-huh.
yes. If the mistake is like, hey, she's mean, you probably shouldn't do that again, absolutely not.
Okay, so you're attracted to like toxic women.
Kind of. My last one was really sweet though.
Okay.
Somewhat.
So
Yeah.
you just like repeat your behaviors.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't. Literally, that was kind of the demise of my last relationship. Pre-Ethan. Like, it was me begging for the bare minimum and him like, oh, I'm going to change. Never changing.
Yeah, I know. Don't jump ahead of me. We will get there.
Okay.
You're beating
okay.
me to my own docket.
Okay,
How
little sneak
dare
peek.
you?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so I met this guy. Oh my gosh, so redneck of my family and myself. We were at this dirt track race, which is like NASCAR for people that religiously drink Mountain Dew on a budget.
So NASCAR.
On dirt.
Okay.
It's like low budget NASCAR.
Yeah.
My uncle races, my grandpa races, my great uncle races. My mom used to race. Like, it's a family thing. I went with a few of my friends, and we're 14. And, you know, we're all sitting together, and this little girl runs up to my friend and is like, hey, my brother wants your number. And she said his name. And my friend said, she said, he can have my number. Or he can't have my number, but he can have my Instagram. Yeah. You know, as 14-year-olds do. And so then I like watch to see where they scurry off to. And I'm like, that guy has no balls. My friend deserves to be treated better than that. And so me, who had no self-confidence at the time, extremely low self-esteem, but like fiercely protective of my friends,
sure,
right? I walk over there and said, listen, if you want a girl's number, grow some balls and ask her yourself. He finds me on Instagram later that night, and he's like, hey, I wanted your number, not her number. Yeah, so that was awkward.
I was about to say, did you swoop in to like kind of like steal her man?
No, my goal was to like be like, my friend is like my platonic soulmate. She deserves to be treated better than that.
Yeah.
But
she wasn't even like treated like that in the first place.
Well, he just like
a little misconstrued.
A little miscommunication. The sisters went to the wrong girl. The sister and the cousin, turns out.
Oh.
Yeah.
One job.
They had one job.
So,
she would have been like 11 or 12.
That's really little. Why do you send a little girl to do that?
I don't know. He was kind of stupid.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, we ended up dating 3 years and like 3 months. And
it was kind of stupid. And we
It was
ended up
stupid.
dating like 3 years.
Yeah, no. Okay, listen.
Mhm.
I dated this guy, never had like I never had a true relationship. I don't count middle school at all.
Yeah,
Um
fair.
and like I don't know. I regret that relationship in a lot of ways because I strayed so far from the person I wanted to be because of that relationship. It was almost like it became my source of self-worth.
Mhm.
Like I like what he thinks of me is all that matters. It's not how I think of me. I hated myself the whole time. And I was dealing with a lot of other things. But when he ended up getting frustrated my senior year because I didn't have time to hang out, and I told him repeatedly, like, listen, I'm president of this, and this.
Mhm.
I'm busy all the time. You
Yeah.
you were
I
that type.
do. Yeah.
And
I was a 5-sport athlete.
yeah, Carson,
That
I
was
still think you're the
nuts.
fastest person I've ever seen.
I'm a speedy little bitch.
You
boy,
are.
I'm not gonna
You are.
lie. It's like a weird. I have so many useless skills now.
You're just like a superhero.
Yeah, if I ever need to like sprint or like play the trombone at a party, though.
If like
I'm
toxic
your
chemicals
guy.
ever leaked out of like a lab and you came in contact with
That's
it.
actually how I was born.
Okay, yeah. See, I always thought it was
Yeah,
more like a
I was-
Superman situation.
Yeah, I was grown in like a petri dish.
Okay, that
Yeah.
explains so much.
Yeah,
like why you're just like a superhuman.
Yeah, somebody spilled like bleach on like a.
I think that would just kill the fetus.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very Frankenstein type of situation. Really groundbreaking.
Wow, science is beautiful. I love being a woman in STEM.
Yeah, no.
And getting to
It's
experience
pretty
this.
sick. The only drawbacks is apparently it stunts your growth. Yeah.
At a whopping what?
Stops at
5'7"?
like 5'9". Excuse you. Are you kidding? Why does I feel like I gotta buy one of those posture things because everybody thinks I'm shorter than I am.
I'm sorry, 5'9".
It's fine.
See, have you heard like the thing where guys will say their height and really you have to like subtract 2 inches?
Yeah, but I'm being legit though. Like that is my
okay.
actual height. Like I tell like if I make I tell people it's 5'10". Like if I'm trying to stun up.
Yeah.
But because it is like 5'10" in shoes, it's passable. So even if they have like a little tape measure in their back pocket, I'm solid. You know.
Yeah. My ex said the same thing in high school. My high school ex, and my dad got a tape measure out to like humble him.
Yeah, I know. It's because
like,
I'm
always 5'10", 5'11".
Always thinking ahead.
Homie was 5'9".
Always thinking ahead.
Yeah.
I know all the tricks. Sometimes I undercut it if it's like a short girl, and I know they won't care. And then it's like a happy surprise, and it's like, oh, what's this dude on?
Yeah. Oh, I think it was a Facebook meme I read where it's like, you know, if a guy says he's 5'11", he's not actually 5'11".
No,
because he would like round up to 6 foot if he was 5'11".
Yeah.
So he's probably more like 5'9", 5'10". Yeah. And he's just like, you know, trying to be.
Which is weird. I would totally go by 5'11" because I feel like that's kind of like a
perfect height.
It's it's a cool height. It's like a it's like a very mysterious height.
Yeah.
5'11"? Who are you?
Like,
you know?
Yeah, no, I get it.
That's
like if you're like a
man's
short
land.
girl, like that's like the perfect height. Because you don't want to be like so short that you're like smelling
honestly,
the guy's armpit.
I mean, let's be honest. Like the ideal like hot girl height isn't like short. Like no disrespect, there are a ton of super pretty short girls.
Yeah.
Ideal hot girl height, at least in my eyes, is like 5'6" 5'7".
Yeah. No, I would agree.
Because it's like you're not. Honestly, I can't do taller than me. So
yeah,
the tall girls look just fine. I can't shoot up because I don't want to like feel like a little imp, little manlet with those little like 5'10" girls.
Yeah.
Because they're always. I mean, I'm bulimic too. So if they're 5'10", they're usually built more than me.
So when you like repeat your toxic behaviors, Carson, they would just stomp you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want them to do that.
I got to stay away from the tall ones because I know.
Or just like not be toxic.
I know that when I repeat the behavior, they could beat me.
Yeah. No, I
don't want them to like pull off their belt and start like.
You know, some people are into that. Maybe that's like their
Yeah, I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't know. I'm not eager to find out. I'm not eager to
Uh-huh.
find out whatsoever.
yeah.
It's not really my thing. So, you said you ton of self-hatred developed
Uh-huh.
throughout this relationship.
Mhm.
Was that the main development throughout the relationship, or was this the type of relationship where it sucked in the moment and a lot of it was genuinely horrible, but you feel like now you're on the other side of it? There was a lot of Maggie that developed in the midst of the chaos and the valleys.
I think a lot of negative development, but
So you don't think a lot of positive came out of it at all?
no. I think it would, like, I would say he was my first love. Like,
Yeah.
I like that, experiencing that was cool. And in the moment, I'm like, oh yeah, he's my soulmate. But like, which is so cringy looking back. But he wanted to get married as soon as I graduated high school. He's like 2 years older than me, give or take. It was kind of icky. And I think that if we had stayed together, I wouldn't have gone to Stillwater. I wouldn't have experienced the character development that I had. These things happen for a reason, and I think I learned a lot.
How specifically do you think it would have held you back if you had been?
He did not want to leave. Like, he wanted to live on the same piece of property as his family. Yeah, he has a twin brother. And he wanted to like live right next to his twin brother.
I mean, I get that twins have some sort of weird connection that other people just aren't privy to, but you ain't a twin. You have no reason to be.
And I didn't want to stay in Ada.
No, I get that. I mean, I'm from a rural place too.
Yeah.
My backyard was quite literally a wheat field. And I don't dislike the property where we were. I mean, there was a lot of roaming space, and I'm very much a roamer.
Yeah.
I'm a very much like go outside and walk in circles for a couple hours with like headphones in type of dude.
Yeah.
That's my main hobby. I still do that now at a little pond with a bunch of like geese and turtles and all them wildlife bitches. But
meditation.
Yeah, but I couldn't. Oh my God, if I had to move back and live there in the middle of nowhere.
And like, again, in retrospect, we weren't compatible. Like, I don't know.
God, that's a heartbreaking realization. So the realization that like, even realizing, did you have that instance where you realized you weren't incompatible even though you were still like very much in love?
Definitely like toward the end of the relationship.
Literally soul crushing.
So I wanted to actually
soul crushing.
I wanted to break up with him earlier. And then I talked to my mom about it, and my mom was like, "Oh, don't do that. Don't do that to him." I wish I would have, honestly.
How, in terms of length of the relationship, how much do you think parental pressure added on to the span?
A lot.
Like more than a year?
I think she encouraged a lot of stuff. Like, she would invite him on family vacations when I didn't really want him to go. Like, you know. Yeah, like he went on 2 like giant family vacations. We road tripped around Western US.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, that sounds really not. I mean, not in your situation. If it was unwanted, that sounds like actual purgatory. That's probably my purgatory if the Catholics turn out to have like nailed it. It's going to be me traveling around the Midwest with people that I don't want to travel around the Midwest to, or going on a trip that I don't want to go to. Like if we're going on a trip to like Iowa to watch like a
corn grow.
Watch like a no, something that's like
in Iowa.
It's like, imagine it's like an event, but like not an event you're super interested in, like an Iowa like women's basketball game.
See, I like women's basketball more than men's basketball.
Honestly, at the college level, I do too.
Yeah.
I hate them both. I really hate watching college basketball a lot. I don't even like watching college football that much. Lot. I like the professional stuff a lot more.
At a football school. Like, my high school was too small for football. Well, not really too small. We just didn't have it.
We were small. We just straight up played 8-man though.
My ex played 8-man.
So
8 man. I
It's
liked watching
so
8 man
fun.
because they had like in baseball you have like a run rule.
Yep.
They it was
Yeah,
40
no,
after 0.
no, I was
in
on
the
a really
third.
bad baseball team when I was in high school. I got
Yeah.
run ruled all the time, constantly.
Oh, I bet you were a great like pinch runner.
I was actually, unironically, I was one of the few people on the team who actually knew how to play. We weren't bad
Uh-huh.
because of me. I wasn't good because I
Were
didn't.
you like a center fielder?
I was literally whatever I wanted
You were a
because
utility player.
I was better than pretty much everybody else
Uh-huh.
on the team by the time I was a junior.
Yeah.
So I think I didn't play when I was a freshman. I played when I was a sophomore. Immediately came in and was like batting first and
Wow.
stuff and like catching
Okay, lead
sometimes and then
off.
playing like center fielder and stuff.
Yeah.
And then basically doing the same when I was a junior, except and don't get me wrong, I
Yeah.
wasn't super good, but I was
Yeah.
the only one who had like any former baseball knowledge and could
Mhm.
hit, because they just don't take it seriously in the Panhandle
Yeah.
whatsoever. It's kind of just, it was so fun because we would just
Mhm.
we would step out and we would fuck around and we
Yeah.
would be we would be talking to the other teams
Mhm.
while like clearly none of us were taking this seriously. Most of
Uh-huh.
the teams like didn't know how to play because a lot of them started in high school.
Mhm. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
It really was.
No, I loved like I miss high school sports. If my coach my freshman year of high school didn't make me actually hate like softball, I would have played. Like my goal when I was in 5th grade was to be the starting catcher for OU.
Yeah.
And like it's so cringe. My spam email is OU softballer. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I get it though. I really
Uh-huh.
love basketball, and I was like weirdly good
Mhm.
for a solid time period. And then when I got to high school, after my once we got into my freshman year,
Mhm.
it was a similar coaching
Yeah.
situation, and I had that coach all 3 years when I was in high school. And when I
Mhm.
was a junior, we actually had a pretty solid team, and I had a bunch of injuries, and I was
Yeah.
also burnt out. So I was already
Mhm.
like fully on decline. I couldn't shoot anymore because my legs were
Uh-huh.
injured and all
Yeah.
that. And he when we had a lead,
Mhm.
he would make us stall the entire fourth quarter. That was his game strategy when we had a lead.
Wow. Okay.
It was, oh my God. People hated, like crowds hated playing against us
Did
if we had a
everyone
lead,
leave
because it
just
was
after the
like,
3rd quarter?
if the games were close, it was literally just like stall ball. If it was like we had a lead of I think like 12 or less. Seriously. The
Yeah.
entire fourth quarter.
Yeah, I would cry.
It was disgusting. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was done with it, which sucked because it was one of my main loves.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the participation aspect specifically in sports is one of my favorite things about living in rural areas.
Mhm.
My least favorite is probably the fact that there is such, I don't know if it's least favorite. I don't know. I have a very love-hate relationship with the redneck vibe.
Yeah.
And I know you probably do, especially because
Uh-huh.
Mr. Snapchat kind of was one, wasn't he?
Yeah, I would say so. And like there's nothing wrong with
Again, it's
that
it's
lifestyle.
love-hate.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
feel like there are some things wrong with it, but there are some things that are really cool about it, which is how most things are.
the
But
racism isn't cool.
yeah.
Like if you're redneck, you
Yeah,
don't have to be
the
racist.
racism is a bit I feel like it's, I don't know how to say it. It's
like deeply rooted.
well, I want to say fabricated, not in the sense that it's a lie, but like
Uh-huh.
fabricated in the sense that it's very much, it comes from stories that are instilled that have been carefully constructed, which I
Yeah.
guess those are made up.
Uh-huh.
But like, I'm not saying the racism aspect is made up. I'm saying the beliefs that found them, it's kind of unavoidable because they are taught so many fabrications as truth.
Yeah.
Like
and it's a family thing. Like
yeah, it's the fucking
it's what
the
you
daughter,
learn from your grandparents.
even it's the daughters of the Confederate
Mhm.
teachings in like school, like still trying to promote the
Mhm.
fact that like pretending that the Civil War wasn't about slavery.
It was about states'
It's
rights.
clearly about slavery. Clearly documented. They straight up said they're trying to take slavery away. And you could pretend like it's for economic reasons. Yeah, obviously taking away slavery would be more expensive because you have to pay people to work for you. It's still about slavery, even if it is for economic reasons.
Wow, capitalism has really just, been around forever.
It hasn't been. It's
like sacrificing,
literally like 300 years old.
Yeah, like sacrificing, lives and like thinking people are expendable. Whoa.
I do think people genuinely are expendable, but I think you shouldn't treat them like they are. You know what I mean? Well, everybody dies. I feel like I feel like the fear of death is so unwarranted because I feel like it should be a more celebratory thing. Not the act of murdering people, but I feel like the very process of dying. Like this idea that we aren't expendable and the idea that our life is the most precious part about us, I think that may be a misunderstanding.
But like companies working employees to the bone.
No, that's not.
That's what I mean
that's not
by
okay.
expendable.
But that's like, it's treating people like
slavery was different.
Like mules. I'm not advocating for slavery. Please do not misunderstand me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like the emphasis that we put on life being such a positive thing and death being such a negative thing. I think it's such an awful misunderstanding because death is like most of what we are.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Like we hit like 25 and then we start
when you think about
gradually dying.
Well, even before that, like if you think about our experience with death or even more specified, our experience with nothingness, which is essentially what death is, at least for the body. I mean, there's a lot of like soul goes somewhere. I don't know what a heaven would look like, and I'm not going to pretend to because that's not something I could pretend to understand.
Yeah.
But like if you think about what you were before you were, there's no sense of dread. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember your life before you were born?
No.
Not at all. It's not like you remember suffering and you remember this longing to become a baby and you remember this longing to breathe, to have a heartbeat, to think, to love, to hate, to moan,
so do you
to
believe
groan,
in like
to
reincarnation?
laugh. I think it's
or like believe that souls like
okay, I wish that reincarnation was real for like 3 times.
What do you okay.
And then I'm not gonna say believe in it because I don't
you like the idea of it?
All of the things that no. I like the idea of it in a short time span. I don't like the idea of like being reincarnated 1,000 times. Because I think that's the same idea as heaven, and I don't like the idea of heaven.
Okay.
And I similarly for similar reasons that I don't like the idea of hell. And it's that like I remember as a child when I would think about the concept of going to heaven and just like praising and being all happy or whatever and just like singing forever. I remember I would think about that and I would like repeat forever and ever and ever and ever as a 10-ish year old. And that wasn't a happy thought to me. That was an incredibly stressful thought because I really want it to end. I want to return to that nothingness. That's like, I wish for my life after death to be, I wish I could repeat it like 1 or 2 more times ish, a few more times. And then after that, I want it to be like, hold your elbow up like this, look through it. What like, you see through your elbow right now, that's kind of what I want my existence to be. I want it to be like inconceivable nothingness. I don't want to have to like, I don't want it to be like a devoid sense of nothingness, like how we understand space right now. Like, I just like literally just stop. That is my wish. I don't know if that's what happens. I think that's really peaceful though. I know a lot of people hear that and it scares the absolute shit out of them. And I do get that. I don't think it would be a bad thing at all. I really like the thought of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's what happens.
Yeah.
I can't pretend to know what happens, you know? And I'm not the type where even if I liked an idea, I could convince myself that that's what happens. And I kind of wish I was, you know? I've tried going to church a lot, and I've tried going to church even recently
Mhm.
and getting back into it, and I can't. And it's not because of a disrespect towards it. I mean, it may
Yeah.
be subtly, but it's really not a
Mhm.
disrespect for like the philosophy of it.
Yeah.
It might be a disrespect for
The
former
the people.
philosophies that made me and made my understanding of it. But
Yes. I understand that.
yeah,
I
I don't
get that.
know. I can't buy into anything like that.
That's fair. I think like my understanding of at least Christianity, I'm Christian,
Yeah.
has changed so much within the past 5 years of my life. Like that's a huge part of my life now. I work 2 ministry jobs.
Uh-huh.
And I think like the Sadie Robertson version of
Yeah.
Christianity has turned off a lot of people. The idea of like being this perfect person and having this perfect life, like you
Sadie
can't.
Robertson is like the human equivalent of a Hallmark card.
Yes, and honestly, she's probably really sweet. But I think
Hallmark cards are really sweet.
yeah, I don't like Hallmark cards.
I
the
like
ones.
Hallmark cards.
I
I
like the-
do.
I like-
I would never want to be one, and I wouldn't care if I received one.
I like
but
really
I
funny
like,
cards. Even the
kinda like 'em
singing
too.
cards. The
The singing
cards.
cards, I
Yeah.
like them. Again, I like them like 1 to 3 times and then
Yeah.
destroy it.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
I
kind of
respect
how I am in everything, you
that.
know?
Yeah.
Like I'll have periods where I'll get the exact same food from a restaurant and then I'll never want it again, but I'll get it repeatedly every
That's a
time.
comfort food though.
Every time I go to Taco Bell, I get like 3 to 4 or 5 layer burritos now, and I
Mhm.
know I'm gonna hate that in like 2 years, but I don't care.
Okay, I think part of that's also ADHD.
Maybe.
Straight up, just because like
Possibly.
you don't have to make a decision. Like that doesn't.
Yeah.
And if it makes you happy, like chase the dopamine, babes. Chase it. No shame.
I will.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, I think we need more Christians that are willing to be like, I am so messed up, but this is how, spirituality has literally saved my life.
Yeah.
And I think I grew up in a church that was very black and white. And I love that church. I still, when I go back home to my parents, I go there and I have a lot of great like memories there. But I felt like I was almost not worthy to be there. Because I
Yeah.
felt like I was too messed up. I didn't belong. I wasn't perfect enough. But I think since coming to college and having that opportunity to like figure things out for myself more, I've realized like God takes imperfect people and uses that. I'm very open about my struggles with people, and I go to this program called Celebrate Recovery. It helps with hurts, habits, and hangups, and it's helped me a ton. I'm a group leader now. And I think by being more vulnerable. Yeah. It just, I don't know. We all go through this life together. It's not easy. It's hard. It's messy. It's
Yeah.
stressful. And like finding community in that and, trying to lift up your fellow man by being like, hey, this is what this has done for my life. And I hope you can find peace through that also. I think that's what Christianity should be, is like wanting to help other people find that peace.
Do you think Christians owe it? Do you think it's a necessity? It's not even just a try to give it. It is like it is your duty to give out love and to serve and to, what's the word for it? It's like I can't remember the word for it, but I feel like I
the
got
golden
it covered.
rule type
No,
thing?
well, I mean, yeah, but there's a better word for it, and I literally learned it yesterday, and I already forgot it, which sucks.
Yeah. I mean, the top
I
two-
lost my vocab word.
Darn. The top 2 commandments are love God and love others. And I do think it's essential that we serve other people. Like, how lonely would it be to just focus solely upon yourself? If you were only doing things for you, you're going to have no friends. You're going to have no
Yeah.
support. And again, like I said, we all go through hard things. We're not designed to be alone. Like, people literally go crazy when they're alone. I think there's a lot of beauty in a supportive community that ultimately wants the best for you. We all have a common goal,
Yeah.
you know?
I
Do
feel
good.
I feel like I'm at my current state because I have had a period where I went crazy,
Yeah.
like fully, like a fairly long one, if I'm being honest, because I have a lot of. I think since like late 2019,
Mm-hmm.
I have made one like genuinely close relationship.
Mm-hmm.
One.
Yeah.
And it was like the recent relationship that I had over the
Uh-huh.
summer. Like a single one. I know a ton of people, and I didn't realize how big that ton was until
Yeah.
I started doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I started like reaching out to people and like coming up with random ideas for
Yeah.
it. I know a ton of people. I talk to people a lot, and I feel
Mhm.
like, honestly, I do wonder about this because I feel like service is essential.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm honest, I think I talked about this a little bit in a former episode, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
repeat it because I fucking can.
Yeah.
It's my show. Fuck you. I feel like the closest I've ever been to experiencing what I would perceive as divinity
Yeah.
is my relationship with my last, because it was
Mhm.
the only one that I've ever had where I genuinely cared more about her
Mhm.
than I did about myself. You know,
Yeah.
my first thought was, how's she gonna feel if I do this? Not like,
Mhm.
oh, do I want to do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
was a really interesting state. But I also think that diving way too hard into that supportive
Mhm.
state, which I've done for her to a much greater extent, but even to a lesser extent,
Yeah.
I've done it with other people in a very people-pleasing manner, because
Mhm.
it wasn't until like 2019 that I realized that I was a very polarizing person,
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure I'm bipolar. Like, pretty sure. I have like
Yeah.
literally every trait, and I don't really want to diagnose it because I don't want to make it like a medical thing. I don't want
Yeah.
to be like officially
Yeah.
cunty. But but I don't know. I feel like because I realized that, and I realized that so many people didn't have that duality where they would
Mhm.
switch between like, oh, you could be angry right now, but then you just get over it and then you like them again, and that's just how it
Mhm.
works. It was
Yeah.
like, no, apparently this sticks with people and they do kind of hate me. And I feel like after I realized that, I've delved into the people pleasing aspect of myself way too much.
Mhm.
And I don't think that, I think it still counted as service, but I don't think it
Mhm.
was, I don't think it
Is
I don't think it instilled that same type of goodness. It definitely didn't instill any
is
sort of
the root of your
peace.
people pleasing to try to find community, or was it try to like?
I think a large part of it was try to find community,
And so
honestly.
I
Because
want.
I had a really solid friend group
Yeah.
in high school, especially early on.
Yeah.
But I mean, even towards the end, I had like,
Uh-huh.
I very much was a very dramatic, like, blow up, like split the entire,
Uh-huh.
like split the school in half type of
Yeah.
drama late. But
All three people in your high school.
I still talk to the people in my
Mhm.
high school friend group regularly. Like, I have an active group chat with like 6 of them.
Yeah.
And my best friend from high school is still my best friend now.
Uh-huh.
I really want a podcast episode with him because I feel like
Mhm.
his is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Honestly, he may be a regular because I feel
Yeah.
like he's gonna be solid. He doesn't know it yet. I haven't talked to him about it, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Just by the way, if you were wondering, it is happening. I've probably talked to you by now because this is probably gonna come out in like fucking February.
Yeah.
But oh, I'm
Yeah.
monologuing. Don't let me monologue.
No, get it out, babes.
I don't even remember what I was saying because I got too lost in my Shakespearean ass bullshit.
We started at my Snapchat boyfriend and ended up talking about reincarnation and spirituality.
Yeah. Okay. I don't remember which one came next, but I know that one, when you got to college relatively quickly, another long-term boy.
Yes.
I also know...
You met him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also know that there was a little break period.
Yes.
I'm curious which one came first. Was it the boy or the break?
The break came. Snapchat boy and I parted ways like November of 2019. And so, you know, I spent 3 years, 3 months.
Yeah, no, that's a long ass time.
During a formative period of my life with this person.
The formative period.
The formative period.
The formative period.
And so
the only thing that would have been more formative would have been like getting beat as like a 12-year-old. I feel like that's the only... Genuinely. I feel like getting beat from like 8 to 12, I think is the only... Or neglect or any of... I think that's the only other period and the only other type of thing that could be more formative than having a full-on like engagement-length relationship.
Yeah.
Like my parents, and they were both in like Chi Alpha, like a Christian frat, so I mean it was inevitable that they would get married pretty much instantly. But they were engaged like 7 months after meeting, and I don't think they dated the entire time.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
That's a little crazy.
You did like, I mean, shoot, you more than 4 times that long?
It was pretty. It was
more
pretty
than
long.
5 times that long. Yours would be like 39 months, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, theirs was 7.
And so I literally the relationship ended and I'm like, oh my gosh, who am I now? Like I started talking to a bunch of guys just because like I said earlier, that's where I derived my self-worth. I hated myself. In middle school, even before I got into any kind of relationship, I really struggled with self-worth. Like, definitely not conventionally attractive. I'm not, like, super skinny. I'm not blonde hair, blue-eyed. Like,
okay.
I have the blue eyes, just not the blonde hair.
No, mine would have been such a serve if I didn't have the world's like craziest acne when I was a freshman and sophomore.
Yeah.
I could have slayed the game.
Honestly, I think you have a great personality. I think like
I do.
That wouldn't be
wasn't nearly
a giant drawback.
It wasn't nearly as you didn't know me when I was a freshman and sophomore. I will show you after. It was it was horrendous.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have dated myself. But it was like, yeah. I mean, my personality made it not as bad as it would have been.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I am grateful for that because like I knew I was I knew it was bad, but I also wasn't super worried about it because I was still able to interact with people. And I wasn't the type that was ugly and like kind of wallowed in it and so became super shy and reserved. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like I've adopted some of that now and I'm not nearly as bad as I was. I had a freaking I always have breakouts before I record this, which is annoying. My skin was amazing yesterday and now I have the entire like but
yeah, I don't know. I think I was never shy. I think I didn't feel worthy. Like
yeah.
That was like I didn't feel like I was allowed to take up space amongst these girls that like were just playing Flappy Bird and you know wearing the cracked nail polish that was in or whatever. Okay. Yeah, that was the thing. Like
cracked?
Yeah, so girls would like layer colors and like the top coat would intentionally crack and so you had almost like a
I'm not gonna
giraffe
lie,
print.
our fashion has turned out so much more embarrassing than I thought it would be during the
After
time. I'm gonna be
after
honest.
the 90s, it went downhill.
Okay, late 2000s, outside from that weird like punky haircut and kind of the super long bowl cuts, I think there was a period where it wasn't that bad. Like 2011 to 2012, genuinely solid, and I don't think we would have had a lot to be embarrassed about. And then we started doing like the crazy eyebrows, and then
2016.
and then we started doing the mustache thing and the weird our jeans were like, they were skinny but they also
Colored.
weren't, and they fit weird, and our shirts
Yeah.
also fit weird. And now like our style is hectic, and so many people shoot for ugly on purpose, which is really weird.
I don't like the brown on brown monochrome thing that's in right now. Like, I cannot stand that.
I don't like the I'm gonna sound so boomer when I say this, but like the crazy excess piercings, and I don't mean like just like you have like a nose piercing and an eyebrow piercing, or like a couple of ear piercings,
Are we talking
stuff like that.
Like snake bites?
I've seen people with like nose ring, bull ring.
Yeah.
3, that's insane. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, pick one.
It's like, it's purposeful. Like, you're trying to look as like weird and different as possible because you need so badly to. You used to be able to fill that niche just with like putting white makeup on your face and dyeing your hair black and going goth. And now everybody's goth and everybody's emo and everybody's punk and everybody's visco and everybody's like hipster all at the same time. Like every niche is exploding at the same time. It's very like big bangy.
Yeah.
You know, it's the internet's big bang.
Do you think it is like a giant negative, or do you think that's stemming maybe more from like self-love culture, like self-expression?
There's no self-love culture. There's no self-love culture.
Yeah.
There's chasing self-actualization through materialism. Okay. And that is maybe the antithesis of self-love, because it's like, I don't know how we've gotten to a stage where we can convince ourselves that like we're doing makeup and we're getting plastic surgery for ourselves. That's so fucking stupid. I get that some people enjoy makeup. That's not what I'm talking about.
Well,
I'm getting like, you put in like, if you have to put in like 90 minutes worth of work to even feel like you are presentable to the outside world, and you literally won't go public places without your makeup on, or you feel like you have to cut off like a chunk of your nose to make it like the British bitches on Game of Thrones, or you have to like pull up parts of your face to get rid of these wrinkles. You're not doing that for yourself. I understand it would make you more confident. It exclusively makes you more confident because you feel like other people don't think you're as ugly anymore. That's where the confidence comes from. It's not because you like it. Or if it's because you like it, it's the only reason that you like it is because you know that other people will find you more desirable.
I don't think I have any problem with like plastic surgery until it gets super excessive, and I think we both know what I'm talking about. Like,
I don't know, I feel like it's a, first of all, it's very dangerous because I don't know a single person who wouldn't want it, and I include myself in that because I absolutely have things that if I can afford them, I think I would have a really hard time not going through with them. I don't think that's a positive. Like, I would absolutely, if I had the money to do it, get like I don't think I'd get anything super invasive, but I would absolutely get like a chemical peel or something like that to try to
that's
like
not plastic surgery.
Smooth up. I mean, it's like a cosmetic procedure though.
It's not a huge deal.
Or even like a face. I don't think I'd go Botox, but facelift seems pretty freaking harmless, honestly. Especially if you only do it once. I mean, once you see like old people like Simon Cowell or like Goldie Hawn getting them like 4 times. I mean, you're gonna look like a mannequin stuffed inside of a corpse.
Wow, that's a little harsh.
Have you seen Simon Cowell recently?
Yeah.
No, I mean like recently, like as in he had a thing come out today. He had like a video come out today, and he doesn't look alive.
Aw, bless his heart.
He looks like It looks like a really sadistic funeral in which they're puppeteering him to give his own eulogy.
Wow.
That's the exact vibe
That's
that
terrifying.
I got.
Yeah,
You know?
low-rise jeans are my nightmare.
I don't think they look good even on the girls they're made to look good on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like it just looks better just having them hug the hips.
Yeah, give me the high-waisted jeans that way that I can tuck all my insecurities in.
I do think, hot take, I think low-rise jeans should be made exclusively for men because they fit the box body type way better.
Okay, do you know?
Genuinely,
I respect it.
I think the high-rise fit women way better because they have way more curve. But for I guess boxy women could do it too. It could look solid on them, or like very skinny women.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, high-rise jeans suit almost all women way better than low-rise.
Okay, but like high-rise pleated pants on men, I think also look good. I think on like
I don't look good in high-rise, and I feel like that's
example,
where
Harry Styles. Harry Styles pulls off like the high-rise like pleated pant.
Kind of. And he's pretty boxy too.
Yeah.
He's very much built like a ruler.
Yeah.
Like he's
like a 6-inch ruler.
He's like no curves anywhere. Like genuinely, he's just a very like straight cut dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it works for him.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it works for him.
He appeals to the female gaze.
Well, I feel like he's just pretty straight up. I'm not even saying I don't see it because he's just obviously attractive. I don't even think that's female gaze. I think he's just like hot.
But like his style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His style I don't really get, if I'm being honest.
I get it.
I get it sometimes, but when he wears the bedazzled like chevron stuffs and the chevrons don't line up.
Yeah, no, chevron should die, I'm not gonna lie. I remember when that was a trend.
Started in that hellish fashion era. It was horrible.
I love 90s fashion.
90s fashion is really solid.
But then again, everything was
even
baggy.
Even their haircuts.
Yeah.
They figured it out.
So when I actually style my hair, low-key looks like Jennifer Aniston's in the 90s. Like, kind of like the long shag.
Yeah. No, the Rachel.
Yeah, the Rachel cut. Yeah. When Ethan and I were going to the concert, the Mount Joy concert, the day we got engaged, I had my hair straightened and it kind of like did the thing. And I was like, wow, this is kind of a little moment going on. I actually don't hate myself.
Yeah. I've heard his concerts are really incredible, but good God, I am literally Bugs Bunny today. I'm thriving in that goddamn rabbit hole. You did have a substantial single period after a substantial relationship.
So I had 11 months where I was single, which was obviously the longest I had been single in a while.
What was the single experience like for someone who was relatively unfamiliar to that crippling loneliness that us normal folks enjoy?
I think I wasn't necessarily lonely. I think I was just...
Nah, you didn't do it right then.
I really didn't do it right. I talked to a bunch of guys that didn't really care about me, objectified me. Like, one guy was straight up like, hey, nice boobs, you're fat, and like blocked me straight up.
Like that was your first interaction?
No, that wasn't our first interaction. That was like second or third interaction or something. Yeah.
Okay.
And like I wasn't even like
I don't even have a comment on that.
Yeah, I
usually thrive in that area, but I'm just vocals have been sucked out.
Here's the thing. He was like a gym bro or whatever, and he's like, "What's your like ideal body type?" I'm like, I think I love Lauren Chamberlain. Do you know who she is? She played softball for OU.
Yes.
She did the Sports Illustrated.
No, yeah,
cover.
I know. She was the crazy good one.
Oh yeah, like Jocelyn Allo actually just broke her home run record.
Yeah.
I think she's gorgeous. She isn't built. She's not naturally skinny, but she is fuller and she owns it. She's strong and I think she's absolutely gorgeous. I think she would have
killed in 1600s France. She has that she has that body. Well, actually, she's more muscular than that.
She's
But
strong.
yeah.
She's strong, and
yeah,
it's not like she's
clearly.
Yeah, it's not like she's sacrificing like that to lose weight and appeal to, the size 0
Yeah.
thing that people aim for. She just loves the body she's in, and she's an exceptional athlete.
Yeah.
And
No,
that's what I told him. I'm like, I love that she doesn't sacrifice herself to appeal to, whatever society says we should be.
Mm-hmm.
She is strong, she's confident, and I think that's what I want to be.
So you're a shoot for performance, not really the aesthetic type of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next boy zips us forward to present day.
Mm-hmm.
And technically speaking, it is the shortest term one so far. About like somewhere in 6 to 8 months, somewhere in that range.
6
right?
months, 6.5 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I nailed it. But I still feel like it's fair to consider it long term because this one ain't a boyfriend anymore.
Yeah.
This one is a fiance.
It is a fiance.
Congrats, by the way. Super awesome.
Thank you.
Totally not jealous at all. Like, not at all. Why would you even suggest that? Anyways, fiance and most recent ex.
Yes.
Not entirely unfamiliar with each other.
They actually met. Like, we had this friend group. So my most recent ex and I met in the dorm building I lived at, and I had friends on the floor above me, and all my friend group like just hung out up there. And that's actually where I met both Ethan and my most recent ex, which is really funny. I have a picture of both of them in it from like Halloween freshman year.
I have a feeling you're not going to have a lot of pictures with the two of them together in the future.
No. My ex and I agreed to be friends, and now he doesn't talk to me. Like, we were actively talking, and like, we like.
That must be nice.
It was, well, like I said earlier, I think we were only meant to be friends.
Yeah.
In retrospect, and I've told him that before.
No, I get that. I've literally never, not a single platonic interaction. The last one, not even one.
Mm-hmm.
It's really.
Yeah, but so it was. It's funny actually. And I realized I found this out, when Ethan and I got together, but Ethan had liked me like those 2 years that he had like always thought I was really cute, thought I was cool.
Yeah.
He told he's really close with his mom. I guess he was talking to his mom on the phone. It's like, oh, I met this cute girl. She was wearing a Merle Haggard shirt. Like, how country, how polka me. And she's like, oh, well, like, naturally, this girl's the one. She's wearing a Merle Haggard shirt, and his grandpa loved Merle Haggard. His mom loves Merle Haggard. And I guess for the past 2 years, his mom has, like, periodically kept tabs on me. Like, ask Ethan, like, hey, what's she up to? She's still dating that guy. And, ex and I broke up May 4th or 5th of like this past year. And
Star Wars Day.
Yeah. And he's a huge Star Wars fan, which I think is ironic.
Is it ironic, or did you do it on purpose?
I didn't do it on purpose.
That was your one last final fuck you?
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah, so we technically broke up that day, but we still kind of hung out for the next week. I think it was a relationship that ended long before it ended.
Yeah.
And it was something that I kept fighting to, like, make it work, and he just wasn't putting out that same effort.
That's one thing I do appreciate about myself is I am incredibly adept at noticing red flags, and I do not stay longer than the obvious end. You know? I mean, granted, I feel like sometimes those obvious ends are possibly self-induced, but most of the time, I genuinely don't feel like they are.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like it would have been an instance in which somebody else who is better at relationships and likes relationships more probably would have pursued that, and it probably would have sucked.
Yeah.
Like you probably would have dated her for like 2 years.
Probably. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't know when to leave, and I'm scared of. I was scared of leaving.
Yeah.
Because again, like I think it goes back to the self-worth thing. Like no one's gonna want this.
No, I actually was too the last time. I was just fucking with you.
Yeah.
Do you think you're in a place now where, I mean, God forbid, this is horrible, hypothetical. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I mean, do you think you're in a place now where you could avoid settling for less than you needed?
Yes. Yeah.
Like genuinely?
Genuinely. Honestly, I think Ethan has helped with that a ton. But even before, like, Ethan and I were fully committed to each other. I think I gradually, actually before my most recent ex and I broke up, I think I was starting to realize more and more, like, what he's doing is not okay and I deserve more. And a lot of that was through encouragement of my friends. My friends had been encouraging me, like, Maggie, you really don't deserve what he's doing to you and what he's saying to you. And he's obviously not caring enough to change his behaviors, even though he said he would. And so it was their encouragement that helped me realize, yeah, I do deserve more than this. And ultimately led me to have that conversation with him that led to a breakup. And it was okay. I think we both kind of agreed it needed to happen. So then I have like that week where I'm like, I'm done. I'm so happy. I don't want to date anyone else. I'm okay with just hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
And then Ethan Snapchats me. And he's like, hey, do you want to do something Thursday? And I had always like thought Ethan was a super cool guy. And we saw each other a lot that past semester because he would come in and he works here on campus doing classroom tech support.
Yeah.
And he would come in to my classes and stuff and fix stuff. And his work building's right next to the one that I had classes in. And so we would see each other a lot and say hey. And we talked a lot about music over Snapchat. We have a bunch of the same music taste. And so we talked a lot. And so it's not like we were like complete strangers and he asked me out. He's like, hey, do you want to do something Thursday? And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, is this a date? Is this like hanging out? And so
obviously.
But he is definitely an introvert, more shy.
Was the last one an extrovert?
I think it depended on the crowd. He liked to fit in with certain crowds of people, and so he would change almost his behaviors and stuff to be liked. He's definitely a people pleaser. To people that don't really matter. But that's kind of beside the point. Yeah, and so definitely a lot of contrast between the two there. But Ethan, since we were friends, I didn't know if it was like, we both are staying in Stillwater over the summer, like hanging out, or like actually like a date. Yeah. So I recruit the troops, right? Like I'm obviously asking my friends like, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? And then I end up messaging a mutual friend of ours that we he actually worked with her in high school for Skills USA.
Yeah.
They're from the same area. They both came to OSU, and I met her through my friend group in my dorm building. So I messaged her like, hey, is this a date? Like, I don't know what he means by this. And she's like, it's probably definitely a date. And
yeah, probably definitely.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. It's funny because I guess Ethan and I were both talking to her at the same time about, like what I'm asking her, what does this mean? He's asking her, what should I do? And she was playing the middleman. And so that was really funny. But I was talking to my friends. And I'm like, hey, if this is a date, should I go? Like, I kind of had, I'm been single a week, maybe week and a half,
Yeah.
Like, that's not a whole lot of turnaround.
No. I'll be honest, if she did that, I would like die.
Yeah. And part of me feels bad. But then again, part of me is like, it was meant to happen, especially now. Like,
Yeah, I mean, everything happens for a reason, maybe.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Does it? Oh, like, do you think you lucked out, or do you think this was some sort of manifested relationship, or do you think it was even divine inspired?
I think it was divine inspired. I think I had been praying, like, just get me through all of this stuff, all of this crap. I, had a bunch of bad experiences with guys. I was, working toward being okay with myself. And I think, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it, honestly.
No, I mean, I get it kind of. I've never been the praying type at all,
Yeah.
but like, do you want to hear something you want to hear something massively pathetic?
It's probably not pathetic.
It's pretty pathetic.
Hit me.
And it's really fucking sad. I
me.
still like, I'm not able to pray, and I never have been for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I started going to church again in June,
Mm-hmm.
exclusively so she would have like a second body there,
Mm-hmm.
like for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of the songs made me think of her,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to
Yeah.
do it for her. And I still pretty regularly, I think like 3 to 4-ish times a week,
Mm-hmm.
like just like sit in my car and try to like do it for her, like hope she's all peaceful and
I don't think
happy.
it's pathetic.
People
I
are
think
nice.
I think that's just love, Carson. It's not pathetic. I think you love this girl and you still care about these people. Even when things end, you can still care.
No.
You know? Yeah.
No, that's gross.
You're allowed to care. I mean, it's okay. Most recent ex. Obviously, we're not together, but I don't wish bad things upon him. And, I hope he turns out all right, regardless of if he thinks the same for me. He did some bad things, but I don't think he's a bad person. And so, I think it's okay to care about people. And honestly, I think there's a lot of beauty in caring for people that have hurt you a lot. Obviously, don't let it destroy you, but
Too late.
but I think that's probably one of the most selfless things you can do is love your enemies,
No, she's an enemy. Oh no. I don't know. She's definitely an op right now.
the antagonist of your life.
Oh, for sure. How did you know?
I think the way we work together is almost divine, truly. He compliments me in the ways that I think matter, and we're similar in the ways that matter. I think we both support each other and want to know more about each other. That way we can be the best person for each other that we can. He is my number one cheerleader, my number one comforter. Always, he's like my best friend.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine life without him now. The first date, the first actual date I had been on. Like, true date. Like, we're talking, he showed up at my door and he said, I didn't know what kind of flowers you liked, so I brought you succulents. And I've kept them alive. I haven't killed them. So I have these little
I could
succulents.
never.
I planted them in Goodwill teacups because,
hmm
you know, they're adorable, whatever. Opened the doors for me and everything. And we went out for sushi at Nagoya. And the plan afterward was to go bowling, which I'm horrible at bowling and I was super nervous about because he was on the bowling team at the time. You know, he's a dork
People
or
who
whatever.
are good at bowling are dorks, so I feel like it's a solid trade-off.
Yeah, but he's my dork and I love him. Like, I wouldn't want anyone else. Yeah, so we ended up talking so long at the restaurant that it was like 30 minutes from the bowling alley closing. And so we drive there and we're like, okay, what now? And he's like, let's just drive around. We drove around for hours listening to music and talking. And, this is the dorkiest thing about the whole experience. We were both academic bowl kids, right?
Yep.
We sat in like the parking lot over by Five Guys and played Trivia Crack for probably the next 30-45 minutes.
I loved Trivia Crack.
I was a god at Trivia Crack.
I was pretty good at it too.
Yeah.
I was actually weirdly good at it. Like it was too much. I played too much of it.
Yeah.
Every single one of my categories, I think my lowest one was like 84% accuracy.
Yeah.
It was bad. I needed to chill. My sports one was at like, I think 96.
That's insane.
It was.
Crazy.
I had like 3 in the 90s. Like I just needed hobbies.
Yeah.
I did so much. I don't understand how I did so much as a child. Like I know I never slept, but I still never sleep, and I don't do that much.
Yeah. You should probably get that checked out.
What is
Sleep is
that?
kind of important.
Well, I can't. I work overnight like 4 nights a week.
Yeah, that's hard. That is hard.
I worked overnight last night.
Sweetheart, you need coffee or some kind of caffeine.
I had a little bit of one of those.
Maybe some green tea.
Those Starbucks glass bottles.
Is there any actual caffeine in that, or is it just straight up like, artificial coffee flavored?
The bitch
milk?
works. I don't know.
Does it actually work, or do you psych yourself into thinking it works?
What's the difference? I mean, honestly.
Fair.
Okay, I want to know what the proposal was like. I have no friends who have been. I think you're my first friend that I have who's been proposed to. I can't think of anybody else outside of. I have like one dude from my high school who like joined the army, so obviously he's married now. but
not the stereotype. Yeah. So back in August, Ethan and I. So even before that, Ethan and I are both huge in the music. We made each other playlist because we were just sending each other songs back and forth so much and so often that we were both like, yeah, we'll just make each other a playlist. We made each other a playlist, and I put my favorite band on there, which is Mount Joy. And he ended up really liking their music. And so in August, we both took summer classes. We were in the library procrastinating. We were looking at like concerts, like their concerts. And one was in New Orleans, and we're like, we should go. And so we get these tickets for their concert in New Orleans on October 15th. And it's an 11.5-hour drive from Stillwater to New Orleans. And it was even longer because my hometown's on the way. So we stopped by my hometown. And his dad and brother and friend were hunting also at a property on the way to New Orleans. And so we stopped there and said hi to them. So that probably added another 2 hours on the whole trip. So I start out driving. He just got off work. Or did he take off that day? I can't remember. So I start out driving. I drove all the way through Oklahoma into Texas. And he's like, we should go stargazing. We're in Texas at this point. He hates Texas. Like everything about Texas people, everything.
Wow.
Sports, politics.
Texas sports are pretty good.
He just hates Texas.
Pretty solid.
I think it's just because he hates Texas.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. Texas drivers are definitely justifiable. They're the worst.
No, yeah, I get that. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't.
Yeah.
You should have your you shouldn't be able to get a license if you're from Texas. You just shouldn't.
You should have to retake the driving test.
No age. You don't get to drive.
Okay,
You get a license to be in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just
Public
don't
transportation.
Otherwise, you just don't get to be in cars.
Yeah.
You can have a bicycle until you learn how to act.
Not a motorized one.
Okay, I mean, I think it would be really funny to watch like Texans on motorized bicycles getting hit by cars, though, because the compilations would pop up on YouTube.
That's so sad, Carson.
Texans getting hit by cars on bikes.
Yeah.
I'm not talking like highway speed, like bug on the windshield type of ish. I'm talking like you're in like those 30, 20 mile per hour, maybe 25. Let's cap it at 25. Then just like a little, you have like a little. And then they just,
You gotta use that sound bite for everything.
That's gonna be all my transitions. I messed up my game.
Yeah. So he's like, babe, let's go stargazing. And he's a Pisces man, so he loves that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's cute. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I've been driving 7 hours at this point. I am tired. I want to just keep going. I don't want to stop.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to, like, be rude or anything. Like that. He's trying to be sweet, and trying to enjoy the ride. Honestly, it was such a fun drive. I loved just being with him and listening to the music and being on the road. He's like, let's go to Cooper Lake. I heard that's one of the best stargazing places in Texas, at least. And so we go to Cooper Lake and we park at this, I don't know, it's where you would park boats. I don't know, like on land, not like in the water. It's not like a dock. Leads down to a dock. But it's this random parking lot. And we get out and there's this like little bridge thing. And I kind of knew something was up because he got something out of like the middle seat. I knew something was up.
Yeah.
And we start walking toward the bridge and he's like, oh, that leads to like a cabin thing. Not there. I'm like, okay. And so then we go down by the water of this lake. And it was genuinely gorgeous. It's pretty far out from any kind of city, so you don't have any light pollution. Could just see the sky forever and ever and the water, and it was really pretty. I was tired and delirious, and so I can't even remember exactly what he said. I don't know if it was like a hey or like a turnaround, because I was like, La La Land, looking up at the stars or whatever.
Yeah.
Being romantic. And I turn around, he's on one knee. Can't even remember what exactly he said, but ultimately, in summary, it's like, will you marry me?
Yeah.
And it's something we had talked about for a couple months. I know, at 2 months of dating. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't. I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't.
Yeah, no.
Talk about it.
Yeah, I think one of the first things you're like, how'd you like when you saw that we got engaged?
I didn't talk about it seriously though. I made like jokes.
Why? Like why? Like how do you know this is the one? Like
yeah.
No,
yeah.
I get it's justifiable.
Yeah.
It's justifiable.
Yeah.
I understand how insane it all is. I mean, our first date was May 19th and we got engaged October 15th. That was less than 4 months? 5 months. Less than 5 months.
Yeah, no, that's very quick.
Yeah.
Very quick.
I'm not going to lie and be like, oh, this is normal. No, this is insane. I get it. But I turn around and I think I just said, yeah. And so it was cool. It means a lot to me. The stone is from one of my great-grandmother's rings. And I was really, really close to her. She passed in July. He supported me through all that. And so it was really special. It was really special. So then, the rest of the trip to New Orleans was just that much better because it's like, wow, we're actually going to get married.
Yeah.
And so we got to see our favorite band. It was so much fun. It was like we were on the floor and like super close to the stage. And like, this doesn't feel real. Like the lead singer does actually look like Jesus. They have a song called Cocaine Jesus, and it was It's my number one song. My Spotify Wrapped
I'm sorry, from who?
by Mount Joy. It's called Cocaine Jesus.
Okay,
Wait, no. Hold on. No, that's Rainbow. It's Cocaine Jesus.
Yeah, no, because
Rainbow
I was
Kitten
about to say I'm literally about to go to
Yeah.
a Rainbow Kitten surprise concert.
Yeah, that's Rainbow
like
Kitten
in
Surprise.
2 weeks.
That's insane. They have a song called Astrovan, and it's like Jesus drives an Astrovan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, my doobie smoking Jesus puts
You
my
tripped
name.
me out for a second.
Yeah, no, my bad. I meant Astrovan.
So I was like, that is such a
No,
weird
Cocaine
ass
Jesus was
coincidence.
my number one song though.
Yeah.
Of my Wrapped. Yeah, the concert was great. Then the next day we walked around New Orleans a little more, and keep in mind, like, we had classes Friday.
Yeah.
And so straight up drove 11 and a half hours, got to New Orleans by like 9 a.m. We drove through the night.
Ooh.
Yeah. I reached a point where we were driving through like little towns in Texas, and
Yeah.
I was thinking I could make it to Louisiana.
No.
Could not. I was starting to see things, and I was worried about falling asleep at the wheel. Ethan was asleep in the passenger seat. I'm like, Ethan,
Wake up
I
now.
need you to drive.
We will die.
I pull over in front of a random person's house and
Mhm.
like, you know, switch with him really fast.
Mhm.
And so I woke up and we were at some gas station in New Orleans in the middle of swampland. Like Brighton early.
So how's wedding planning going?
It's a mess, honestly. We're both really, really busy, so we haven't had a whole lot of time to just sit down and like plan everything out.
Yeah.
We are aiming for like the first week of June. So
That's not very far.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
It's not very far at all.
We'll figure it out. I think the hardest thing is a venue. Wedding venues are so expensive, so we're trying to find like cute churches in the area.
Yeah.
Because I want like a cute wedding. I want aesthetic pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
like cringy like wedding pictures. You know what I mean? Have you seen like some really cringy wedding?
Get like costumes or like he has all of his groomsmen wear jorts.
Yeah, definitely not that. But I think one of my friends is gonna be like a flower boy.
Tyler the Creator reference.
Ethan loves Tyler the Creator. Like
That's probably why he's doing it.
Maybe. But yeah, my friend Rocky won like Strongest Cowboy, which is like the weightlifting competition last year as a freshman.
Shit.
Yeah, he's like a jacked dude. And so you're gonna have like this giant mountain of a guy throw flower petals down the aisle. I love him. I told Rocky I've adopted him as my little brother. And he loves Ethan. If Ethan ever realizes he's like bisexual or gay, he's leaving me for Rocky. Relationships. That balance of femininity and masculinity and finding a complement to that, or finding comfort in sharing masculinity and femininity over I don't know how to explain it. Because I love seeing a feminine side of a man. I love seeing him express his emotions and be open about anything he struggles with. I think vulnerability is so brave, and I think men are scared to do that because it makes them feel weak. There's so much strength in doing that. And I think we need to kind of redefine what strength is at the same time. Because if you think showing emotion is weakness, then, you know, you can't just limit that to sadness. You have to include anger in that. I feel like anger is a pretty masculine emotion, almost. Or rage. And, you know, at times that can be a moment of weakness as well. And so I think there's strength to be found in, you know, what's considered fragile or feminine. So.
Yeah. I don't know if rage is masculine.
Feminine rage is terrifying.
Yeah.
I will say that. But, you know, that warlike rage, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I don't know. Maybe violence is.
Violence, yeah.
That's great. It's a bad thought though. It's a sad thought.
That's associated with masculinity.
Ugh.
I think that's when it becomes toxic. I feel like if you intentionally try to ignore a side of, like, if you intentionally try to ignore a feminine side of you or intentionally try to ignore a masculine side of you, that can easily become toxic because that's just the internalization of stereotypes around you. Because if you're trying to reject one to the point where you're, you know, okay, so Andrew Tate, for example.
Yeah.
I feel like he intentionally tries to be super hyper masculine and doesn't want to be like a feminine man, and in turn he's like one of the biggest douchebags, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to cry. I'm sorry that your mommy didn't hug you enough when you were little.
I don't think his is mommy issues. His dad was a really famous chess player, and he wasn't like present whatsoever.
That's sad.
Like whatsoever. I don't think they even interact like as of now. I mean, maybe now because he's like rich, and those fathers typically tend to come back when they get rich. But
I feel for the guy if that's his circumstance, but I don't know. He gives me the ick.
Well, he kind of looks like Franklin the Turtle on Trend.
I'm dead. I'm
not gonna lie. I kind of want to internalize some Brahms.
That kind of sounds pretty bomb.
I'm about to. I think we're all good.
Yeah.
You got anything else? I feel like I'm solid.
Good.
These headphones are kind of making my head stuffy.
Yeah.
My nose even stuffier.
Yeah.
Still haven't technically slept today.
You need to take a nap.
I do need to take a nap.
Take a nap. Eat some food.
Oh shit, my camera isn't even on. Okay, well, Stickman me. I hope you're still doing solid. Hope you're hanging in there. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for being here.
Carson, thank you for having me.
Very productive. I told you these shits go on forever.
Yeah.
I told you. I'll make them last.
Yeah, it's been 3 hours. Almost 3 hours.
Yeah, mama don't fuck around.
God.
All right, y'all can fuck off now. Bye. See you next week.